Welcome to the Rewriting Naruto series part 35, a series of videos where I rewrite Naruto making changes to improve the story for my personal taste. Now I know it's been a while since the last video in the series, but that's because we didn't even get close to reaching the 24-hour like goal in the last video, so I do get a little bit demotivated because of it, so it takes me longer to do these videos. So today's like goal is going to be 4,000 likes in the first 24 hours. It's really easy to beat that like goal. I mean, if everybody likes it, it's going to be way past that, so if you want the videos for the series quicker, please like the video and let's get going. Sasuke Uchiha stood at the peak of a familiar mountain. At a distance, he could see a place that evoked memories. Sunlight bathed Crystal City, the capital of the land of crystals. It was a completely different sight from the first time Sasuke laid eyes on it, for at that time a landslide had ravaged the city. Now Crystal City was a beacon amidst a beautiful and wide valley surrounded by mountains. Sasuke and his team took 3 days to travel from the land of hot springs to the land of crystals. They had to circumvent the land of fire to make sure they wouldn't run into any leaf ninjas, which made the journey longer. Sasuke, why'd you make us climb this mountain? I'm tired, Suigetsu said. Shut up, Suigetsu. Don't you see that Sasuke's coming in with a plan? Karin said. Sasuke indeed had a reason. This mountain was the place where he and Naruto had fought against the stone ninjas, trying to prevent the great landslide again. He didn't want to admit, but he wanted to see the place one more time. Sasuke felt angry at himself for it. Were his bonds not truly severed? Did he still care for the leaf, even after all these years? He remembered the fight he had with Naruto in Orochimaru's hideout. He couldn't kill someone that wasn't Itachi. Nostalgia hides like an annoying insect. While you're asleep, you don't notice that it stings you, Sasuke said. Aha! So you've been here before! Suigetsu said, but Sasuke ignored him. Jugo, have you heard anything? The birds tell me that the ninjas from the leaf and stone are already in the city, Jugo said, petting a bird that was sitting on his shoulder. Also, I sense several powerful chakras down below. Don't expand your sensory range anymore. We don't want their sensory types to find us. All of you, suppress your chakra. We're going to reconnaissance the old-fashioned way, with our eyes. Kato's the priority. He has intel on Itachi. He will be arbitrating the meeting between the leaf and the stone, so he shouldn't be difficult to find. However, we mustn't let anyone know I am here, Sasuke said, pointing to Suigetsu's executioner's blade. That sword is too conspicuous. Give it to me. What? I'm not giving you my sword. I mean, wielding it is the only reason why I'm bearing Karin's presence and hanging with you guys. The sword, Suigetsu. The Leaf Village knows what it looks like. We'll stand out. I'll give it back when we're out of here. What if I have to fight? This is a stealth operation. We're not here to fight. But what if I have to fight? The sword, Sasuke said with a tone of finality. It sent shivers down Suigetsu's spine. He scowled but tossed the executioner's blade to Sasuke, who pulled a scroll from his satchel. Sasuke bit his thumb, drawing blood, opened the scroll and inscribed seals on it. He then touched the executioner's blade with his thumb, staining it red, and weaved one-handed seals. The massive sword puffed into smoke and disappeared. Sasuke closed the scroll, tying it with a thin rope, and put it back in his satchel. He then tossed his own sheathed sword at Suigetsu, who caught it by the scabbard. You can use that until I return yours. This one's not really my style. Can't you wield any sword with mastery? I guess, Suigetsu said, unsheathing the sword and throwing some practice swings. But what about you? What sword are you gonna use? I don't need a sword to be effective, Sasuke said, weaving a one-handed seal. Transformation jutsu. Sasuke transformed himself into a regular citizen. You should all do the same. Now let's get going. Kiba rode Akamaru into the city of crystals. Shino and Anko walked close to him as Lady Tsunade led their party. Shino carried several gourds. Kiba knew each of them had a specific variety of bugs, which honestly creeped Kiba out a little bit. The citizens of the land of crystals looked at the Hokage in awe, surprised that she came personally to their city. As the Leaf Squad headed to the inn they would stay in, Tsunade smiled and waved to the citizens looking at her. This place looks much better than we were here last time, doesn't it, Shino? Kiba said. I suppose. Oh, come on. Can't you be a little more excited? We really helped these guys out. If it weren't for us, this place would have been destroyed. I mean, it was destroyed a little bit, but it would have been much more destroyed. Kiba, if I remember correctly, you didn't do anything useful in that mission. Actually, you were a liability. So much so that Sasuke had to punch you to quiet you down. Hey, why do you have to bring the war stuff up, Shino? Sasuke Uchiha punched you? Why? Anko asked in amusement. It's nothing important. Kiba had a Jinchuriki prejudice. He was awful to Naruto. I changed, okay? I feel ashamed of what I did. Yes, after he farted on your face in the tuning exams. Oh, come on, stop and bring up the worst stuff I've done in my life! Captain Anko, don't you think Lady Tsunade's acting a little weird? Shino changed subjects. He looked at Tsunade, who was still smiling and greeting the crystal citizens ahead of them. What do you mean? She can be flamboyant sometimes, but she's not a flamboyant leader. She usually wouldn't come all the way here to show off. And now she's greeting all these people like a textbook populist. You heard Lady Tsunade in the briefing. The leaf needs to project strength in the Land of Fire as well, especially after what happened to the Waterfall Village. That's why she's doing all this. I don't know. Something feels off. The Hokage's here! The Hokage's here! The Hokage! Suigetsu whisper shouted. Team Hebi crouched on a rooftop, overlooking the Leaf Squad who walked down the main thoroughfare of Crystal City. The Hokage waved at the populace. That could be a problem, Sasuke said, disguised with his transformation jutsu. You don't say! The Hokage is here! We can't fight her! We have to leave! Cancel this operation, Sasuke! Suigetsu was sweating from his terror. Another damned Sanin. They just keep making my life hell, Suigetsu thought. The Hokage is not a problem. I've defeated 2 of the Sanin before, the 3rd one will be no different. Karin looked at Sasuke. His confidence and demeanor almost made her melt, but she couldn't show it. Still, Sasuke was hiding something underneath. If Tsunade was here, that meant she probably wasn't in the village to heal Jiraiya, which means Sasuke killed Jiraiya. Well, it was his fault for interfering with Sasuke's business. Serves him right. The problem is that boy that's riding a dog. He's from the Inuzuka clan. Concealing our chakra presence won't work against him. They track via smell, and he knows mine. We have to take care of him before he does any general sweep of the area. If he does, he'll know I'm here, and then the operation will be compromised. How are you gonna get around that, Sasuke? Jugo said. I have an idea. Kiba and Shino settled down in their room. They were to be roommates during this mission. The inn was luxurious, granted to them for diplomatic status. This room's awesome. Diplomatic missions are the best, dude, Kiba told Shino. It's too much. Oh, come on. It's really hard to cheer you up. The last time I saw you smile was when you got that new variety of bug. But man, Captain Anko and Lady Tsunade got it even better. They both got a room for themselves. I see. So that's what you wanted. You find my presence here unsightly. I never said that. It's just that having a room like this for yourself must feel awesome. What would you even do by yourself in a room like this? I mean, there are things. Such as? Oh, come on, Shino, you know. The ladies, they appreciate a room like this. Kiba, you're not getting any ladies. Is that a challenge? No, it's a statement of fact. Even Choji got a lady. I can do it too. We're not that type of guy. You may not be, but I certainly am. You'll see. I'll get a girl in no time. Shino said nothing to retort. He seemed more gloomy than usual. A knock came from the door. Kiba opened it, and his heart leaped immediately. A gorgeous red-haired girl smiled at him. She wore a quite revealing dress, and her perfume was overpowering, intoxicating. Hey Kiba, do you remember me? It took a few seconds for Kiba to process the question as he was checking her out, but then it clicked. The girl standing in front of him was called Mina. She was one of the people he had helped during the reconstruction of the Crystal City over 4 years ago. They were only 12 at the time, and Kiba remembered developing a slight crush on her back in the day when he was helping her family to rebuild her house. He remembered being sad for leaving the Crystal Village. He thought he would never see her again, but there she was, and she had developed significantly. She was already cute back in the day, but now Kiba had to focus so his eyes wouldn't drift to places they shouldn't. Of course I remember you, Mina. How have you been? Great. I knew you would remember me. I thought about you every day since you left. Kiba felt a jolt of fire igniting within. His entire face flushed. Really? Of course, you helped me out so much. I really was dumb. I never asked for your address or anything, so I couldn't send you letters. But I saw you on the street. It was like destiny. Well, I'll definitely tell you my address now. Mina hugged him firmly. Kiba could feel her entire body, and the scent of her perfume was so pleasant that he wanted to keep hugging her forever. Why don't you come to my house? I can't. I'm on a mission right now. Well, you could at least come to the tavern tonight. It'll be fun. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess I could, right? Lady Tsunade said she's probably gonna check it out too, so it wouldn't be a problem if I went. And the diplomatic meeting's only tomorrow, so I think I'll be going, yeah. Mina smiled. She then looked at Akamaru and beamed. Oh my god, Akamaru, is that you? You got so big! She leapt to the dog and hugged him as well, caressing his snout with intensity. He's even cuter now, he's so fluffy! Akamaru leaked her face back, and Kiba smiled. She stood up and motioned to leave, but before she did, Mina pulled a scarf out of her purse and wrapped it around Kiba's neck. It smelled just like her. A wonderful scent. This so you don't forget me, okay? Don't take this car off until you leave the city, okay? For me? Yeah, sure, well, of course. I'll see you tonight, Kiba. Yeah, I'll see you there. She left, and Kiba felt like he was floating over the clouds. Must be nice, Shino said. When Kiba snapped out of his trance, he realized Shino was gloomier than usual. The gloom made it look like an entire storm was following him in the room. Hey, I told you I'd get a lady, you just have to be positive. And now, I have a date. I still can't believe the lady Tsunade is planning on going to that tavern. Come on, man, this is just a diplomatic mission, that's not a lot of danger. Shino, you should go too. We'll get you a lady as well. I will go, but not for courtship. I'll go to protect Lady Tsunade. I'm on a mission. Oh, come on, everybody knows Lady Tsunade can protect herself. This mission's just a formality for us. You should try and, socialize a little bit. Even if I did so, it would be futile. What do you mean? That girl didn't even register my presence when she came by. I am invisible to girls on purpose. Huh? What do you mean on purpose? Because if I show my presence, they'll be disgusted. You wouldn't understand. Your companion is a dog. Girls love dogs. I, on the other hand, have thousands of bugs living inside my body. The Aburame clan members only marry other Aburame clan members. We're the only ones who can withstand each other. And unfortunately, there are no Aburame girls around my age. I will die alone. Oh, come on, I just told you to be positive. Of course you'll find someone. You're going to the tavern with me, and I don't care what you say. I'll drag if you have me to, and we'll find you someone. Kurotsuchi was nervous. At first, she was glad to see the Crystal City thriving after its turbulent past involving the Stone Village, and she was thankful to that old geezer for sending her to represent the stone in the diplomatic mission, but for some reason, the Hokage came here in person and she would be negotiating with Kurotsuchi. This diplomatic meeting has been held 4 times already, once every year since the Land of Crystals incident, and all but the first one were simple formalities. A meeting to reinforce the commitment of the Land of Crystals' neutrality regarding the Stone of the Leaf, to make sure the Land of Crystals would be purchasing the services of shinobi from whichever nation it felt was appropriate, and to do so without any coercion from any of the parts. But if the Hokage was there, did that mean she wanted to change the parameters of the treaty? Why would she come personally and not just send a representative? Kurotsuchi had been a jonin for over 3 years now, but negotiating with the Hokage was something that filled her with anxiety. She would be representing her entire country, and she would have to brace herself to do it. But she'll have to succeed. After all, situations like this would be common when she became the Tsuchikage. What's wrong, Kurotsuchi? Looks like you swallowed a slug, Akatsuchi said. It's nothing, I was just thinking about tomorrow's meeting. There's nothing to worry about. We should enjoy ourselves. I heard there's a really nice tavern here. We could also go sightseeing. This place is beautiful, Akatsuchi said, looking at the mountains that surrounded the city. We shouldn't lower our guards. This is an important mission. And even if there's no prospect of danger, we can never be too careful. Itan, the third and final member of Kurotsuchi's squad, said, we can go to the tavern and unwind a bit. It doesn't mean we'll lower our guards. But Captain Kurotsuchi, we should focus on the mission. There can be always a rogue ninja lurking in the shadows, ready to strike. Relax, Itan. There's no chance in the world a rogue ninja would attack here, especially with the literal Hokage present. Sasuke narrowed his eyes, peering into the distance. He was at another rooftop and watched Kiba walking alongside Shino. He was wearing a scarf around his neck. I'm surprised it was so easy. He took that scarf without hesitation. Can't believe he would let his sense of smell be suppressed because a pretty girl asked him to. That's so un-shinobi-like, Karin said. What are you talking about? If Sasuke told you to jump off a bridge, you would, you hypocrite. Shut up, Quiet, the two of you. When I had a mission here long ago, I was a squad leader, and I remember Kiba getting close to that red-haired girl, and he's never been the wise type. It's not a surprise he fell for it. With the amount of perfume you put on that scarf, you shouldn't be able to sniff me out, so we can start searching for Kato. Sasuke, how long will the genjutsu that you put on that girl last? Jugo asked. If no one breaks her out, her infatuation should last at least a day, so we'll have to find Kado before that. If the genjutsu runs out while she's with Kiba, she'll freak out, and they'll look for the genjutsu caster. Isn't that kinda mean though? Making that poor dude think that a babe like that's got the hots for him. You're fine with cleaving people in half, but this is where you draw the line? A broken heart's much more painful than being cut in half, said the guy who's never been touched by a woman, Karin said. Surprisingly, Suigetsu didn't fire back at Karin. He seemed sad all of a sudden. Besides, the worst part is not breaking the dogman's heart, it's controlling the girl like that. But that doesn't matter, we're here to find Itachi, right, Sasuke? Karin said, grasping his arm. Unhand me. Sasuke shook her off. We have to locate the stone ninja that have come here as well and keep tabs on them. They could lead us to Kado. Do you think that Tsuchikage is here too? Jugo asked. I doubt it. We would have heard about it by now. In any event, we have to find Kado before their meeting tomorrow. It would be troublesome to do any interrogation in front of the leaf and the stone. And we can't wait until after the meeting or my genjutsu will expire. So let's get to work. Team Hebi, all disguised with a transformation jutsu, scattered as night began to fall. Can't believe Lady Tsunade and Captain Anko already went to the tavern without us, Kiba said, disappointed to Shino. They were also heading to the tavern. Well, let's just hope for the best. Kiba smiled and clutched the scarf Mina gave him. I wish you had let me bring my gourds. If you want to meet a nice lady, walking with those things is not gonna help you out. Don't worry, no one's gonna steal them or anything. You left Akamaru behind watching over them. You left Akamaru behind because you want some alone time with that girl. Besides, if we have to fight, I won't be at my maximum potential. We're not gonna fight, Shino. We're going to have fun. Get you a lady. Here, lower this hood and take off these sun goggles. You're gonna look much better, Kiba said, pulling Shino's hood down, but Shino resisted and didn't let Kiba take his goggles. I'm not going there to socialize. I'm gonna make sure Lady Tsunade is safe and that you don't do anything stupid. A few minutes later, they were in the tavern. A crowd surrounded one single table of the establishment, the one Tsunade and Anko were sitting at. And then I punched that thing and it exploded on my face. It was incredible. No matter what we did, it wouldn't stop exploding. We thought we were gonna die, so we finally resorted to our trump card. For the first time, we summoned our strongest summons together, and that became known as a three-way deadlock. And even still, we were barely able to survive. Second Mizukage was one tough bastard, Tsunade said, and then Barta laughed. Her face was crimson, having drunk an entire sake bottle already. Uncle laughed next to her, drinking a lot as well, and the crowd seemed enthralled with Tsunade's war stories. Shino cut into the crowd until he reached the table. Lady Tsunade, is it wise to be here? We're on a mission. You shouldn't be drinking so much. Shino, this is a diplomatic mission. It's the best kind. They offer you all types of nice stuff. You can enjoy yourself, Tsunade said, downing more sake. But if you're attacked, you'll be intoxicated. It's dangerous. Shino, if someone ran a sword through my heart, I'll be completely fine. Enjoy yourself. That's my order to you as the Hokage. Shino begrudgingly accepted Tsunade's orders and motioned to return to Kiba's table. Then saw him, and Mina, the beautiful red-haired girl, was already with him. Both of them were transfixed in the conversation, staring at each other like two love bugs. Shino sighed and looked for another place to sit. Interrupting the two wouldn't be right. He sat by himself and sent a few of his insects to spread around the room and keep an eye on any suspicious activity, especially close to Lady Tsunade. Shino ordered some food and ate alone. Kiba and Mina seemed to be having fun. Shino could hear them giggling. Must be nice, he thought. After some time, 3 stone ninjas entered the tavern. Kurotsuchi, the girl who had been an enemy long ago in this very city, led the party. To Shino's surprise, they sat on his table. Hey, you're one of the ninjas escorting the Hokage, right? Kurotsuchi asked with a smile. Yes, I suppose you don't remember me. Have we met? We fought. Here, I was the one with the insects. Oh, what was your name again? Shino. Oh, right, yeah, I didn't recognize you. You look a bit different. I saw Kiba, I didn't know you were here too. Shino wasn't surprised. Even people that were closer to him had trouble recognizing him after a long time. Naruto took several minutes to do so after he came back to the village. So, who else came here with you? Is Naruto here too? No, Naruto's in the Leaf Village. Oh, I see. She looked sad. The table grew awkward. Shino wasn't great at conversations, and he wasn't close to the stone ninjas. Kurotsuchi seemed a little upset after finding out Naruto wasn't coming, while the fat man in her party was staring at the menu, licking his lips. The third one was staring at a wall, not paying attention to Shino, or anyone for that matter. The stone ninjas finally decided on something to eat, and after a few minutes, their food was brought in as well. While they were being served, Shino noticed a new patron entering the establishment. He seemed normal, other than the fact that he was wearing an oversized Kaza hat covering his entire face. But that's not what alarmed Shino. He seemed too normal, almost as though he was trying to look inconspicuous. No one else seemed to give the man any thought though, so Shino only observed. The man with the hat sat at the counter of the tavern and ordered some food. "Don't look so gloomy, Kurotsuchi. I'm sure you'll see your boyfriend again soon enough," the fat man teased her by nudging her shoulder, finally breaking the silence on the table. Kurotsuchi's face turned from a disappointed look to red in a split second. The other man with a goatee was barely paying any attention. "Shut up, Akatsuchi. Where'd you get these ideas from?" Akatsuchi looked at Shino. "She won't stop talking about this guy. I want to meet him one day, you know?" Naruto is quite the shinobi. Just finished a mission where he fought an army of chakra monsters. According to Lady Tsunade, he saved the land of fire in the process. Shino noticed that as soon as he said the word Naruto, the man with the hat tilted his head ever so slightly. It would have been an imperceptible movement if Shino wasn't paying attention to him. The advantage of wearing sun goggles was that no one knew exactly where your eyes were pointed at. It was weird that the man would react to Naruto's name specifically, but maybe Shino was just imagining things. It's just that Naruto's a good friend, and we go back a long way. Shino could see a gleam in Kurotsuchi's eyes when she mentioned Naruto. Could she have feelings for Naruto just like Hinata? Figures. Having a tail beast demon in your body was still much more attractive than having a swarm of bugs. The man with the hat gave no further reaction to Naruto's name though. Kurotsuchi asked why the Hokage was here in person, but Shino didn't give her an answer. First because he wouldn't leave intel to a foreign ninja, but also because he himself wasn't sure about Lady Tsunade's intentions. The third man with the goatee finally said something. "I think it'll be alright, as long as the moderator is decent." "I mean, I'm sure he is. They said the Snow Village is great at mediating. They even have special shinobi trained for that," Kurotsuchi said. "Do you know if he's already here?" "Did you forget the briefing already, Itan? None of the parts are going to know the whereabouts of the mediator until the actual meeting, so nobody can try to influence him. Honestly, you're embarrassing me in front of the leaf," Kurotsuchi said, nodding towards Shino. "But I bet you'll know something, don't you?" Itan asked Shino. "Unfortunately, I do not." "Excuse me for a second," Shino said, standing up. Itan's demeanor had changed abruptly when he started talking, almost as though Shino walked towards the man with the hat and sat next to him at the counter. 20 minutes earlier. Sasuke had already put 3 innkeepers under a genjutsu, forcing them to tell anything they knew about Kado. He had no luck. His target hadn't been to any of the major inns in the city. His team was also searching, but they had to split to cover more ground and do it faster. He put Jugo in charge of finding the stone ninjas using his abilities to communicate with birds. And Sasuke kept searching, walking along the busy Crystal City streets, disguised as just another member of society. He heard that the busiest tavern in town, the Crystalline Fragrance, would be teeming with patrons, especially the day before an important diplomatic meeting. So Sasuke decided to head that way. Before he got to the tavern though, without even meaning to, he found the Stone Squadron that was sent to meet with the Hokage. To Sasuke's surprise, Kurotsuchi, the magma-style user he fought in this very city a long time ago, was among them. She could be an eyesore if Sasuke wasn't careful. 2 men accompanied her, and Sasuke could tell just by looking at them that Kurotsuchi and the larger men were far stronger than the one with the goatee. He deduced they were also heading to the tavern and concocted a plan. Sasuke discreetly pointed his finger at a civilian passing by the stone ninjas and cast an ephemeral genjutsu. In his mind, the man felt a sharp pain on his back and fell to the ground, screaming for help. Kurotsuchi, just as Sasuke predicted, knelt down to help him as a small crowd began to gather. Sasuke made his way amidst the crowd and positioned himself. When the bearded stone ninja looked at the crowd, he gave Sasuke's transformed face a fleeting gaze. In that instant, he activated his Sharingan, casting an ocular genjutsu to put that stone ninja under his control. Sasuke then swiftly stole a large Kaza hat hanging from the side of a distracted civilian in the crowd and put it on. He needed to hide his Sharingan. The transformation jutsu couldn't disguise its form, and Sasuke had to keep it activated to fully control the stone ninja with exact precision. He could give general instructions such as being infatuated with someone, deactivate the Sharingan and the genjutsu would still work, but precise control required the eye to be activated. Sasuke then dispelled the ephemeral genjutsu, and a minute later the crowd dispersed, as the man who fell started to feel better. Kurotsuchi motioned to her allies to continue their way to the tavern, and Sasuke made his puppet follow her, as if nothing had happened. Sasuke himself followed them from afar, taking care not to draw any attention. A few moments later, they entered the tavern. Sasuke waited a few minutes to enter, so as not to draw any suspicion. He finally went in, and when he did so, the tavern was quite a sight. He only gave the room the briefest of glances, to make sure no one would see his Sharingan, but what he saw was alarming. Tsunade and Anko, Orochimaru's former apprentice, sat on a table, probably intoxicated with a crowd surrounding them. Kiba was completely infatuated with the girl Sasuke had put on her genjutsu, just according to plan, but the stone ninja sat with Shino, and unlike the other leaf ninjas, he was on his guard. The most analytical of the bunch was actively looking for anything out of the ordinary. And worst of all, Sasuke did not see anyone matching Kato's description. He sat on a counter and ordered some food. He tried to look like a normal tavern patron, but had to lower his hat in order to obscure his Sharingan. Even though he wasn't able to look around, Sasuke was listening to all three tables at the same time. Tsunade was shouting about a time she fought against Hanzo of the Salamander. Kiba was telling Mina what he would do when they left the tavern, but what caught Sasuke's attention the most was Shino mentioning Naruto's name. That surprised him. Before he could think, Sasuke turned his head towards Shino's table in instinct ever so slightly. A massive blunder that could give his identity away. Sasuke felt angry and ashamed. How could a mere mention of Naruto's name break his composure, if only for a split second? Sasuke had to do something about it. He waited for Shino and the stone ninjas to converse a bit more, and then commanded Itan to ask about the meteor. Unfortunately for Sasuke, Kurotsuchi didn't know anything about it, and she was the squad leader. He even tried to ask Shino, but he didn't say anything either. Sasuke wanted to do something to question Tsunade about Kato, but fearing that his position was compromised, Sasuke decided to leave. However, before he could do so, Shino stood up and walked towards him, sitting right next to Sasuke. Sasuke couldn't leave too fast, it would look too suspicious, and that gave Shino time to approach him. He suspected something, and leaving now would just give Sasuke away completely. He would have to talk his way out of it. Shino looked at the man sitting next to him with the corner of his eye. The large hat covered the man's entire face, and he seemed unperturbed with Shino's sudden presence there. "So, do you always come here?" Shino asked. "Not really, just passing by." "I see. I suppose the sight of the Hokage in a tavern is rare." "Indeed. I take you're one of her ninjas?" "I am." They fell silent. Tsunade's laughter washed over the room as the crowd clapped at another of her stories. The man still didn't move his head towards Shino or the room. "I never knew the Hokage was so talkative." "She can be," Shino said, emitting a mental command for one of his bugs to crawl under the man's chair and take a look at his face, especially after what happened. Alcohol lets her cope. Sasuke felt a stab of guilt. So the Hokage had already gotten the news about Jiraiya's death. The leaf would certainly make finding Sasuke a priority now. But there was something else within Sasuke, a sense of loss, of sorrow. It didn't intend to kill Jiraiya. As far as he knew, Jiraiya was like a grandfather to Naruto, and Sasuke took that away from him, just like Itachi took his family away long ago. He fought against his feeling. He wanted to believe his bond with Naruto and the Leaf Village was severed, but somehow, fine threads still remained. "What happened?" Sasuke asked, feigning ignorance. "Her prized pupil was killed in a mission, the land of whirlpools." A wave of adrenaline erupted within Sasuke and washed over his entire body. A gut reaction. He had no control over it whatsoever. Why would he care so much? Sakura didn't affect Sasuke's revenge. Where were all these feelings even coming from? Shino looked at the man. His posture had shifted ever so slightly after the lie. Bringing Sakura up certainly had an effect. First Naruto, then Sakura. Could this man be? "A shame," the man said curtly. Even still, Shino could sense a slight trembling to his voice. His insect was almost reaching underneath the man's seat. He would be able to identify his face. Shino ordered it to move slowly and silently, and hopefully the conversation would distract the man from the bug. "Yes, I believe she chose to come here and leave the village to forget. All those memories must hurt," Shino said as the insect reached a position on the ground where he could see the man's face. "Nostalgia hides like an annoying insect. While you're asleep, you don't notice that it stings you." The man's foot turned into a blur and crushed Shino's insect right when he said the word stings. One fact was confirmed. That man was a shinobi. He was too fast and managed to notice the insect. Perhaps he even knew about Shino's abilities and was looking for it. Shino had to change tactics, make him think he was off the mark. "Interesting that you would come here and spy before the meeting," Shino said. The man remained silent. "I thought the mediator was supposed to be unbiased and stay clear of both parties until they meet." Sasuke had given away he was a shinobi, but he couldn't help it. His anger got the better of him for a split second, and he smashed that bug with too much force. In his burst of emotion, he didn't even consider the possibility of Shino lying to him. He saw his reaction to Naruto's name before. He could be trying to see if Sakura would do anything. And now this challenge about him being the mediator and spying on the people could be a diversion to fool Sasuke. But it would be better for Sasuke if he made Shino believe that Sasuke himself believed he was caught as the mediator. "I don't know what you're talking about," Sasuke said. Lying in the situation would be the most appropriate thing to do if the mediator was here. But Sasuke had to leave. Staying here had become dangerous with so many enemy ninjas ninjas and his cover compromised. Sasuke decided to use his Sharingan to command Mina's actions with full control. Kiba and her had been talking ever since Sasuke got into the tavern, but now Mina stood up and pulled on Kiba's scarf, saying, "This tavern's too crowded and loud. Let's find a quieter place where we can be alone." She winked at the last word. As Sasuke expected, Kiba didn't hesitate. He was swiftly ushered out of the tavern. Shino looked at what just happened but didn't do or say anything. Sasuke had hoped that Shino would follow Kiba or try to stop him at least, but Shino was already too suspicious. He wouldn't let Sasuke out of his sight. Sasuke could just dash away, but that would be too conspicuous. And even though he was fast, it would be much easier to track him that way. After all, Sasuke still had a plan B to find Kato if his intel gathering didn't work. But for his plan B to work, he couldn't leave a trail. "Must be nice," Shino said, looking at Kiba as he left the tavern. His voice had a genuine sadness to it. Shino was conflicted. On the one hand, he wanted to make sure Kiba wouldn't do anything stupid to compromise the mission, but on the other hand, he had to stay close to this man and protect Lady Tsunade. Shino shot her a glance. The 5th Hokage's speech was getting louder and more incoherent by the minute. She could pass out at any moment, and this man, Shino had his suspicions, could be dangerous. So he decided to stay and let Kiba, hopefully, just have fun. He thought about sending in more insects to glimpse the man's face, but if he noticed the first one, sending more would just escalate the situation. Overall, Shino was not in a great position. Lady Tsunade and Captain Anko were in no condition to fight. They would in fact be a liability. Without Kiba, the possibility of reinforcements would be the Stone Ninjas, and it wasn't a guarantee that they would fight to protect the Hokage. And to make things even worse, Shino didn't bring his gourds. Just like he predicted, that was a foolish idea. "Tell me, what type of jutsu do they teach to mediator ninjas in the Snow Village?" Shino said, trying to deceive the man in the hat further and perhaps figure out what he was up to. Sasuke was annoyed at that question. He knew that Shino knew that he knew Shino wasn't telling the truth. Orochimaru loved playing this type of passive-aggressive, all-knowing game but pretending to be clueless about it all the time. It was infuriating. Sasuke preferred to be much more straightforward in any type of conversation. "Shut your mouth," Sasuke said, standing up and making sure his hat would cover his eyes from a higher angle. Shino grabbed his arm with a swift motion. "Wait, you can't leave now. And why is that?" That was a good question. Shino wasn't even sure how to proceed. Capture this man right now? That would cause chaos and put the tavern patrons in danger. On the other hand, the only other option is to let him go. He could try and use a female bug to track him, but if this man is who Shino thinks he is, then the female bug wouldn't work. But it was worth a try. If the man in the hat knew what to look for and destroy the female bug, then this would give Shino an idea of who the man could be. So while he was grasping the man's arm, he slipped a female bug into the man's sleeve. The female bug would secrete a pheromone which attracts the male bugs, and then Shino could track this person. Sasuke shook Shino's arm off of him, but then he saw something that disturbed him. Jugo entered the tavern by himself. His transformation jutsu was no longer activated. His eyes were bulged out and he was sweating. Clear signs that Jugo was about to have one of his psychotic crisis. Sasuke's stomach churned. A psychotic breakdown in the middle of a crowded tavern like this would be a bloodbath. What set him off this time? It didn't matter. One of the purposes of Sasuke's quest for revenge was so that no one else would go through what Sasuke went through. These people had nothing to do with his infiltration. If they died, their blood would be on Sasuke's hands. Blood that Sasuke helped save all those years ago. Jugo drew the attention of the patrons who weren't listening to Tsunade. His size and demeanor were hard to miss. Jugo put his hands on his head, trying to contain his bloodlust, but he was losing the battle. A serving lady began to walk towards him, and Sasuke knew that if she got within his reach, she was dead. He would have to go for plan B now. There was no other way. Shino looked at Jugo and said, "That's quite a lot." Sasuke threw a punch towards Shino's face. His fist traveled in a split second, but surprisingly, Shino managed to raise his arm in time to block it. At the same time, Sasuke used his Sharingan Genjutsu and commanded the stone ninja to toss a shuriken at Tsunade. Jugo dashed at the serving lady with bloodshot eyes. Sasuke saw his curse mark beginning to flare out. The crowd began to shout and run aimlessly. Even though Shino blocked the strike, he was flung backwards, landing on the table, smashing the food and drinks of the patrons. The shuriken arced above the crowd and was about to hit Tsunade's side when a small swath of insects, the ones Shino left close to Tsunade, flew up and intercepted the weapon, blocking it mid-air. Sasuke dashed towards Jugo and commanded the stone ninja to toss all of his smoke bombs to the ground. down. The room became inundated with dark smoke, making visibility practically zero. Sasuke undid his transformation jutsu and used all of his speed to intercept Jugo's arm. A split second before he was about to rip the serving lady's head out of her body, white snakes emerged from Sasuke's sleeve and wrapped themselves around Jugo's arm, stopping his motion. Sasuke was close enough to look with his Sharingan into Jugo's murderous eyes through the smoke and said, "Calm down, Jugo." He snapped out of his deranged state, and his face immediately turned into guilt. His curse mark retracted as well. "We have to get out of here now," Sasuke said, enveloped by smoke. Jugo nodded, and both of them dashed out of the tavern, trying to avoid the terrified crowd. Shino felt a sharp pain on the arm he used to block the punch. He felt it and realized it wasn't broken, but now the room was filled with smoke. He stood up, and trusting his memory, he jumped in the direction of Lady Tsunade's stable. He landed square on the table, and could now see Lady Tsunade and Captain Anko assuming flimsy battle stances, barely able to stand up because of the alcohol. Shino crouched down on the table and extended his hands. "Lady Tsunade, Captain Anko, stay down, I'll take care of it," he said, as a large swarm of insects exited both of his sleeves and started to encircle them. Amidst the smoke, Kurotsuchi found Itan and punched him square on the nose, drawing blood. He fell to the ground, groaning in pain. "What's happening?" he asked, very confused. "Good, you're out of the genjutsu," Kurotsuchi said, narrowing her eyes. Sasuke and Jugo jumped from rooftop to rooftop. Moonlight illuminated the city, but they were careful to stay in the darkness. Sasuke weaved a one-handed seal and sent a stream of lightning down his arm, destroying the female bug Sasuke noticed Shino putting on him. Sasuke remembered Shino using that trick to track Kankuro down during Orochimaru's invasion of the Leaf Village. But if Shino noticed he couldn't track Sasuke with a female bug, he could suspect Sasuke was involved. After all, he knew the trick. While increasing suspicion was better than being tracked. At a distance, Sasuke saw the patrons screaming and running out of the tavern as dark smoke leaked out of the windows. "I'm sorry, Sasuke. I saw a man falling down and screaming in agony when I was tailing the stone ninjas. I'm sorry. Those screams, the agony, they triggered my psychosis." Sasuke frowned. So he was the one that caused Jugo's episode by putting that man under a painful genjutsu to distract the stone ninjas. "Don't worry about that. We're altering the plan," Sasuke said, creating two shadow clones with a one-handed sign. "One of my clones will accompany you. You must find Karin. She will be vital for this new plan to work. What about you?" "I'll be busy for a while. My clone will give you the details," Sasuke said, dashing away. One of his clones dashed to another direction, and the second clone remained with Jugo. "Listen, Jugo, this plan will be risky," the clone said. Shino waited for the smoke to disperse, keeping his insects flying around himself. Lady Tsunade and Captain Anko. They knelt behind Shino, both in no condition to fight. Shino commanded male insects to go after the female bug, but they couldn't. There were no pheromones for them to track, which means that the man in the hat destroyed the female bug. He knew the trick. Or perhaps he just noticed an insect crawling on his arm, but still, Shino was very careful when he put the insect on the man's arm so that he wouldn't notice. Once the smoke cleared, Shino saw a few patrons on the ground and below the tables trying to protect themselves, and the three stone ninjas still in the tavern. Kurotsuchi approached Shino. She raised her hands up in the air. "Shino, I'm sorry, but I assure you Itan would never attack the Hokage." "I know. He was under a genjutsu." Kurotsuchi sighed in relief. "I'm glad you're very level-headed. I wouldn't want a fourth grade ninja war to start because of a misunderstanding." Seeing that things had calmed down, Shino began to recall his bugs into his sleeves. They would re-enter his body as soon as they were out of sight. The large man looked upset, and the man in the hat were no longer in the tavern. And strangely, the man in the hat acted shortly after that man arrived to the tavern. It's almost certain that the man in the hat was the one to cast the genjutsu on Itan as well, seeing that he punched Shino at the same time Itan tossed a shuriken at Tsunade, Shino reasoned. "The meeting will be cancelled now. What a fiasco. I should have noticed my subordinate was under genjutsu," Kurotsuchi said. "Don't beat yourself up. I get the feeling the caster is very skillful. I also doubt Lady Tsunade will cancel the meeting over this." "There's gonna be a meeting. We're not canceling it because of a puny, tiny little shuriken," Tsunade said, almost falling over. "But there was an assassination attempt." "No, there was no assassination attempt. A meager shuriken wouldn't kill Lady Tsunade even if she let herself get hit by it. It was just a distraction. Whoever did this was after something else." "What could they be after?" "I don't know." "Who could they be?" "Actually, I do." "Who is it?" "Don't worry, I'll deal with him." "Oh, come on, you don't have to be so cryptic with me. This ninja attacked my team as well." "I'll deal with him. I don't want to cause panic. But first, I have to take these two drunkards back to their rooms and then find Kiba wherever he is." Kiba kissed Mina with untamed passion. Their mouths had been one for the last 15 minutes. He couldn't believe that was happening to him. It had to be the greatest day of his life. His first kiss, and with a babe like that, he could do anything now. He felt powerful, unbeatable. Mina's smell overpowered Kiba's senses, and his mouth was growing numb from so much kissing, but he liked that. They were in her bedroom. The pleasant night breeze came through the open window, and the moonshine cast a beautiful silver sheen on the room. Rain began to pour, making a satisfying sound that also invaded their senses. Mina finally broke away from the kiss. Tiny droplets of cool water hit Kiba's face after the rain fell on the window frame nearby, and he already missed her lips. She then laid on her own bed and looked at Kiba with intention. Well then, shall we begin? Kiba felt hate flaring on his face. Wait, isn't it too soon? Not for us. We're doing this together for the rest of our lives, so why don't we just start now? Kiba swallowed. She was right. Shouldn't be afraid. He jumped on top of her and resumed kissing, but then he smelled someone else near them. Her parents? She said they were out of town. Who could it be? Kiba broke the kiss and looked up at the window where the smell was coming from. A dark figure backlit by the moon stared at Kiba with those eyes. The only shape that Kiba could discern were those eyes. A piercing crimson gaze that invaded Kiba's soul and made him feel small. That smell, he remembered it now. Lightning flashed behind the figure, and Kiba could see his face for a split second. It was Sasuke Uchiha. I take it you're enjoying my bait, Kiba. Watch part 36 of the rewrite right here. Like the video so we can reach the like goal, and comment below what you thought about the episode. Also subscribe to make sure you'll catch the next rewrite, because it helps me out a lot. Thank you so much for watching.